Sleeping Beauty. Long ago there lived a king and a queen who wanted a baby very much. However, the desired child did not come. One day the queen was resting in the bath, and suddenly a frog emerged from the water and said to the queen, "Your wish will come true. Before the year meets, you will have a daughter." Before the queen could say anything, the frog was gone. The frog's words came true. A beautiful daughter was born to the queen. She was named Briar Rose. The king was so happy that he threw a great feast in her honor. He invited all his acquaintances to the celebration and did not forget the wise fairies so that the daughter would be favorably disposed. There were 13 of them in his entire county. However, the king had only 12 plates, so he did not invite the 13th fairy to the feast. Towards the end of the celebration, the wise fairies presented the child with their precious gifts. One endowed her with virtue, another with beauty, the third with wealth, and gradually the princess received everything that a human could wish for. It was the 12th fairy's turn, but before she could say her gift, the 13th fairy entered the hall. But she was very angry that no one invited her to the glory, and she wanted to take revenge, perhaps on the king's daughter. She looked at her and exclaimed loudly, "When you are 15 years old, you will prick yourself with a rose thorn and fall asleep forever." She turned her back and left the hall. Everyone froze in shock. A 12th judge approached, who did not have time to express her wish. She couldn't undo the evil curse. She only softened it. "It won't be forever. You'll just fall into a deep sleep for 100 years. The king wanted to protect his daughter at all costs, so he immediately had all the roses in the entire empire burned. Other prophecies were fulfilled over time. The daughter was beautiful, wise, kind, intelligent. She was everyone's favorite. Almost everyone liked her. It was their 15th birthday. The king and queen left the castle for a moment. The princess took advantage of this, walking around the entire castle and peering into all the rooms. She made it all the way to the old tower. She climbed the narrow spiral stairs and reached a small door. There was a key in the lock, which she turned and the door flew open. In the chamber she saw beautiful flowers in a vase that she had never seen before. They were beautiful red roses. The girl was attracted by the flowers. She took them in her hand, and at that moment the evil prophecy of the 13th fairy came true. The princess pricked her finger on a rose thorn. She fell on the bed and fell into a deep sleep, and with her the whole kingdom. Everyone was asleep, even the horses in the stable and the pigeons on the roof. Even the wind died down and not a leaf moved on the trees in front of the castle. Rosehip bushes began to grow around the entire castle, which grew thicker and stronger over time, until they eventually overgrown the entire castle. In the end, he was not even visible under the rose bushes. There was talk of a beautiful sleeping briar rose nearby. No prince penetrated the mighty bush. The thorns held fast as if they had hands. The princes remained hanging on them. They could not go there or back. They died miserably on them. After many years, an unknown prince visited the kingdom. He heard an old man tell of a kingdom covered with rose hips. A beautiful princess called Briar Rose has been sleeping in that castle for 100 years, and the whole kingdom is sleeping with her. Even the grandfather had already told the prince how many other princes came to free her and ended up in the thorns of huge rose bushes. The young man was not afraid of anything and decided to free the princess and the whole kingdom. The old man betrayed him from the act, but he did not listen to his words. At that time, 100 years had passed and the day had come when Briar Rose would wake up again. As the prince approached the rose bushes, the roses parted themselves and let the prince pass. As soon as he entered, they closed again. In the castle yard he saw sleeping horses and dogs, pigeons sitting on the roof. He gradually walked through the entire castle. He saw the cook standing in the kitchen. He saw the whole royal council in the hall, and the king and queen were lying on the throne. The prince walked up to the tower and opened the door to see Briar Rose sleeping. She lay there and was so beautiful. He couldn't take his eyes off her. He bent over her and kissed her. As he touched her lips he broke the curse and Briar Rose opened her eyes. She woke up and looked at him kindly. They held hands and entered the hall, where the king and queen and all the courtiers were still waking up. The entire castle awoke from a long and deep sleep. The horses in the yard stood up and shook, and the pigeons on the roof put their heads out from under their wings. The cook started baking again. The castle began to celebrate with joy. The great glory ended with the wedding of Briar Rose and the prince, who live happily together to this day.